Oh, hey there, guys. Today we're just looking at probably one of the best vans of all time, the Astro, and why it is the perfect van to live in for for vegans. I'm just messing with you guys. Today, actually, I wanted to take a look at cronometer um, because I know a lot of people have concerns when switching to a plant-based or vegan diet. Um, where they're worried about the amount of protein they'll be intaking, or they're worried about not being able to get the right amount of food in, or not being able to eat enough. This is my basic day. I try to be as conservative as possible with my numbers, just because I don't want to have numbers that are misrepresentative of what I'm actually intaking. So this is the 6th, so this is 2 days ago. Um, and I got plenty of protein. Um, well, the thing with the most protein was the garbanzo beans and the chicken patty, which is it's a Boca fake chicken patty. Those are really good. I highly recommend those for a substitute meat if you need that to get from day to day. Um, Plenty of carbs. I overshoot on my carbs every day, but my goal really is to have I'm trying to go for the 80-10-10. As you can see, my fat lipid profile is a little higher than I'd like it to be. And that's just due to a high intake of fat. That's my own fault. I haven't been looking for as many alternatives as I should. I'm trying to add a lot more fruit into my diet, but this was kind of a um, normal day of eating. I didn't get an exercise in. Usually I'd like to go for like a 15-minute run on the treadmill and then lift for maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes. That's a good way to burn some calories off. Um, I didn't do any this day. I think I was just beat by the time I got home. I had done a lot of work outside that day. Um, and then we'll go to the 7th, which is yesterday. So as you can see, I ate a little bit more, but I did a little bit of resistance training in there. I took a supplement. Um, I had It's a recipe I just keep in here because we make it all the time. It's the Vegan Gains hummus. If you look up on his channel, Vegan Gains hummus, he literally has a recipe that he uses for a low oil hummus. Um, it's not it's not better than the Sabra in taste, but it's better than the Sabra in oil. Um, this stuff tastes just as good on chips as the Sabra hummus, but it's a little less fatty, which is nice. Um, but yeah, I mean, I have quite a bit of food on here. Very hungry. You can pause and look at that if you'd like. At some point, I might do a what I eat in the day video if people want that, because I think that's very helpful for someone who's going to work every day, trying to figure out, what do I do at lunch? I've only got 30 minutes for lunch. How am I going to make a quick meal? Um, but this is, once again, the breakdown. The fats, once again, a little high. I brought it down because I was paying attention to what I was eating, but it's still a little high for me. Um, and then proteins, a little, well, it's not a little low. I got a good amount of proteins. I just overate. So in my overeating, I ate too many fats, um, too little too little protein to compensate for that, to keep it as that 80-10-10. And then carbs, 68% from carbs, which is pretty good. Um, I got that little bit of exercise in. Like, I'm talking, like, I lifted weights for like 10 minutes. That's it. That's all I did. It wasn't, and it was just because I had 10 minutes where I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just gonna lift weights. Um, the general activity, 16%. I probably should add rugged activity because, like, I'm outside shoveling and snow blowing, but I don't worry about it because I think this is more representative of what I need to do to lose weight. You need to stop overeating and start burning more calories, so doing more running. So let's look at that supplementation I took. So B12 is something that naturally occurs in water. It naturally occurs in the soil. Um, but we live in a society that has decided that we are going to clean our food and what's the word I'm looking for? We're going to sanitize. So B12 is something you cannot get without supplementation. Some people have the misconception that it exists in meat. It only exists in meat due to supplementation. Um, these animals may live in terrible conditions, but they still don't get it from what they eat. They still don't get it from their surroundings. They get it from the supplementation that is given to them. So your B12 supplementation, I have a bottle of it that I take it and I give myself a couple sprays every couple weeks. Well, I haven't done it in a long time, and the reason I do it is because you can become B12 deficient without knowing it very quickly, and it won't be spotted until a doctor spots it, and by then it's too late. Um, my aunt recently was in the hospital, um, and while she was there, the doctor figured out that she was B12 deficient, uh, and she was in the hospital for something else, which is the last time you want to figure out you're B12 deficient. It doesn't help. It doesn't help your body at all. B12 is one of those. They call it an essential nutrient, which it is essential, is needed. Not something that I think you guys should be super worried about, unless you don't think you're getting enough. One thing that I'm seeing here that's kind of scaring, that's not scaring me. Don't be afraid of any of, if you see like you're deficient in something one day, that's not something to worry about. Calcium, I could intake some more leafy greens. I could make a smoothie in the morning, or do something to up that calcium. Calcium intake is pretty essential, but it's not something to worry about if you have low calcium intake one day. It just means that you need to start trying to find other ways to put calcium in your diet. I had a burrito last night where I threw in just a big handful of spinach and kale, and I think that helped, but I don't remember if I recorded that. I'm not seeing it here. I think at one point there's my taco sauce. At some point I just kind of stopped doing anything for the night. I was pretty tired. I don't see that spinach mix on here, which probably would sway the numbers a little bit, but it's just something you want to keep in mind. This is nothing to worry about. I use cronometer more of to show me where I'm going wrong in the intake department versus the burn department. I don't worry as much about this stuff down here. This stuff is good. You do want to worry about like your omega-3s. The issue is I took in almost as much omega-6s to counteract it, which is an issue. You want to cut back on your oils, intake higher on your omega-3s, trans fats, cut down those as much as possible. But everything here looks good. Iron, I got plenty of. And then these little proteins down here. Don't worry about the little breakdown proteins. Worry more about whether you've gotten your amount of protein, and from there these will build up around those. You just have to eat a variety of food. You can't just eat one thing all the time and expect to be healthy. One thing that is going to help you, one thing that is going to make you healthy, is your lack of cholesterol intake, that kind of stuff. So hopefully this helped a little bit. Appreciate you guys watching. Yeah, and just keep the workforce carved. We'll see you guys later.